Good afternoon, and welcome to We the People. The question to be asked this afternoon, is it stupidity or is it ignorance? Donald Trump yesterday, after his meeting with President Macron of France, spouted language from the 1930s that the United States can't be willing to protect Europe because we are, quote, protected by an ocean. That is the height of folly. At the moment, there are lasers in space, there are weapons in space that can attack the United States and destroy our satellite systems. But let's forget space for the moment and think about submarines. On the west coast, or at least in the Far East, China has a number of submarines, and they don't have those submarines to protect them against North Korea or Vietnam or the other countries out there. They're weapons that are available to be used in the Far East if they need to on an offensive and perhaps even a defensive basis. Russia also has submarines, but before we talk about the Russian submarines, let's go back to World War II. The Germans, as you probably know, and as Trump should have some knowledge of, but he either ignores it or is ignorant of it or doesn't give a damn, the German submarine fleet decimated a lot of the shipping across the North Atlantic, as we were the lifeblood to England and the lifeblood to Russia. But more importantly, for these purposes, the German submarines destroyed about 60 shipping vessels that were going up and down our East Coast between New York and Florida. So that we're not protected by some ocean, and the thought that we are is beyond silly. As I mentioned at an earlier time, Governor Christie was the only one during the presidential primary debates on the Republican side who talked about what our military needed, and one of those he talked about was submarines. Russia doesn't have submarines because they need them against Ukraine. They don't have submarines because they need them against Germany or Moldova or Estonia. They have submarines because they have them in case they need to or want to attack the United States. And in fact, my understanding is they're switching from nuclear submarines back to diesel submarines because they are harder for us to detect than the nuclear submarines, where we understand their signatures and can find them in the depths of the ocean. So to think and to suggest to the American people that we're protected because we have oceans on both sides of us is the height of folly.